Good morning, everyone. This is Marty Harger, and welcome to Essential Yoga with Marty Harger. I want to talk to you today about the three common diffuser mistakes that I see people doing, and I've experienced personally practicing yoga in different environments where people are incorporating the beautiful doTERRA essential oils. What I wanted to make sure that I covered for you today is what are some ways you can avoid those kinds of mistakes. And I use the word mistake as, there's really no mistake in using essential oils, but I say that because you want to provide a great experience for people. And one of the first things that I see happening in the world of diffusing essential oils in a yoga practice is that people put too much essential oil, or they choose an oil that is aromatically challenging to people. So I'll give you an example. Some people find that arbor vitae is a beautiful aroma, and it is when it's diluted a little bit. But too much arbor vitae is actually kind of repelling aromatically to a lot of people. And I've witnessed that in classes and workshops that I've taught. One of the things, if you're introducing essential oils for the first time into the yoga workshop or class environment, I encourage you to think about using the citrus oils. Using some of the softer oils, like, if I looked at something like cedar wood, that's one of the ones that I love to diffuse. And you want to make sure that you're only using the amount of drops that are needed to create a gentle aroma in the space that you have. As a former massage therapist, I know that offering a diffusing of essential oils in a 10 by 10 room with a door closed and using oils on people was too much. So you need to think about, what is the space that I have? Is there air movement, or is this like an enclosed environment? So I have in front of me a whole bunch of diffusers. So I want to talk to you about the different kinds of diffusers. And that brings me to my second issue that happens in yoga workshops. So number one is, make sure that you're not using too many essential oil drops. And when you're choosing the doTERRA essential oil to put into your diffuser so that you're creating a nice crisp aroma, consider whether this is a first experience with essential oils for people, and whether something like a citrus or a light wood oil, or perhaps a conifer, a tree oil might be beneficial versus trying to use a more exotic oil. You might consider some of the blends like Citrus Bliss, Balance, perhaps some Elevation. But I'll tell you an experience that I've had many times in yoga classes and workshops, and that is that the instructor will have a diffuser going in one part of the room. And it's easy to do this because sometimes there's only a plug in one part of the room. And excuse me, what happens is the students that are right by that diffuser get blasted with essential oil aroma, and it's too much sometimes. I've had people put an oil in there, as an example. Some people love spearmint essential oil. It does not happen to be one of my personal favorites. So I was in a class and somebody was blasting spearmint at me, and I finally had to ask the teacher if they could turn that off. Now, I love essential oils, and I love yoga, and I love diffusing them, but that particular oil was just too much in my face. So part of what I want to talk to you about today is the fact that, putting a few essential oil diffusers around your classroom space or workshop, using extension cords, planning ahead, is a better way to get that aroma in different parts of the room. Now, I have in front of me all different kinds of diffusers, and I want to explain an idea of how you could do that. Some of you know that there are diffusers such as this type that doTERRA has, and I can't even remember the name of it now, but you actually plug an actual bottle of essential oil into it. This is a great tool for the front desk at a yoga studio, but honestly, in a classroom or a workshop, it makes too much noise. And so I would not be using that one in a classroom or a workshop. I would use it at the front desk in a place where there's already some ambient sound. It also is a diffuser that, quite frankly, is going to use up essential oil a little faster than just a drop or two. So this is great for something like Citrus Bliss at the front desk, or On Guard during the fall months as we come into flu season. And I'm just going to take off my Molly here because it keeps hitting the table. It's bugging me. Anyway, I want to talk to you about a couple of other types of diffusers. What I love about the pedal diffuser and the new diffuser that doTERRA came out with, again, I apologize this morning, I can't remember the name of it, or this type, which is from another company, a very inexpensive diffuser, is that they actually diffuse up in the air. So they're not pointed in one direction. They're just kind of misting across, the area that people are practicing. So I love that kind of gentle diffusion in a water-based diffuser. These all have a well that that has water in it, and you put a couple of drops of essential oil. It's a much better way to control the aroma. And again, if you can put them around the room, you're better off. So doTERRA has quite a selection. There are also many inexpensive ones that you can pick up, with a wholesale account on some of the diffuser companies that are out there. They love to, help you get more diffusers out into your world. And so a little bit of essential oil in more places in the room is a better way to go. Now, if you don't have access to electricity, what I love are some of these little mini diffusers. doTERRA has had some you can put in the car, and they operate on a couple of AAA batteries. This is a perfect way to diffuse essential oils gently around the space of the yoga room, so you have a little bit of oil coming from different places. This is also another one that I've seen recently that does the same thing. Again, it's like a mini little diffuser. It's smaller than this guy, but they fit like the size of a computer mouse. And I think that that's a great way to go. You're putting a drop or two on a pad, a fabric pad that's inside here, a little felt pad. And using AAA batteries, you can put them around. If you're doing a yoga practice kind of on the fly, or maybe you're doing a private practice for someone in their home, this is a great way to go where you don't have to worry about plugging in the electricity. You just put a nice gentle aroma into the area. Now, the third thing, that's the second thing, is make sure you're moving that aroma around the room. So think about the tools you have. Some of them are more expensive than others, but when you have a practice space where you can pick up a couple of these inexpensive little mini diffusers that operate on AAA batteries, it's a great way to go in a 1 hour, 1.5 hour, 2 hour workshop. Then you have that smell going on in a lot of spots, coming into the room gently instead of blasting the people in the left side of the room. Okay. So the third mistake that I see happening with people is they forget about one of the principles of aromatic diffusion of essential oils. And that is that when we have a constant aroma, we stop noticing it. If you are wanting people to pay attention to what you are diffusing in the diffuser, I would encourage you to think about how can you pulse that aroma. And it might be as simple as while you are giving instruction and walking around the yoga studio area that you might turn off the diffusers for part of the practice. Maybe you're going to offer oils that can be applied topically by the student or that you might apply, and then turn it back on perhaps in Shavasana so that they notice the aroma again. The subtle aroma of any kind of doTERRA essential oil used in a yoga practice is what you are trying to create to help people notice the moment they're in. When we notice the moment we're in, we come back to the mat, we stop wandering our brains off somewhere else. And so think about that third thing is instead of having the oils running continuously, how can you have the oils pulsed into this total time of your class or workshop? In the Essential Yoga program book that I hope you all get either as a book on Amazon or Aroma Tools, or you can get the ebook on Amazon, we talk about diffusing essential oils in every single workshop. And we do that very purposely because this is a way for people to change their mood and emotion very quickly. When people come into the studio space, it's really important, if you're focusing on essential oils in an essential yoga workshop, that you have something diffusing for them. I also found as a wellness center owner that having something diffusing at the front desk continuously was really helpful, because as people walked in the door, they were like, oh, wow, I'm here. It smells so great in here. What is it you're diffusing today? And it began a conversation about the essential oils that was very natural and actually protected us, because as you have the essential oils wafting around your workspace or your yoga practice space, you're creating an aromatic shielding, if you will, with these little particles of the essential oils in the area. So I hope that these three ideas, number one, don't use too much essential oil in your class or workspace. Make it appropriate for the amount of space you're practicing in, and make sure that the oils that you're offering to people are pleasing to those who are coming to your class. Number two, make sure that when you're teaching in a class or workshop space, consider the kinds of diffusing tools that you can spread out around that space so that a little bit of aroma comes out at many different people instead of a lot at one person. And number three, think about the fact that rather than running the essential oil diffusers continuously in your class or workshop, that at some point you as the instructor get up and turn off that diffuser and encourage people later on to notice again when you turn it back on. Those are my thoughts for today. I hope that you have a wonderful week. And I want to say for you today, namaste.